Hi, my name is Kim Wurzel-Lo Porto, and I'm a member of the 2000 Olympic team. I want to thank Adam and all of US Artistic Swimming for allowing me to share my Olympic journey with you. I was born and raised in Santa Clara, California, and I swam for the Santa Clara Aquamaids for 14 years. My love of water really started when I was 3 years old. My dad was a master swimmer. My older brother and older sister also competed in speed swimming. I competed until I was 8 years old. I really owe my start to artistic swimming to my dad. One night during one of his practices, he noticed artistic swimming in the other pool. He inquired and brought home a flyer, and my sister and I wanted to join. I remember starting at 9 years old. I was a little bit behind because most of the team had started during the summer. But because of my speed swimming background, the coaches allowed me to go ahead and try out. And it was awesome. I mean, my first 10 and under routine was to the Pink Panther. And I remember it being really hard. It was really awesome, but it was hard. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved being able to be creative. I loved being able to express myself through the music. And I really loved having 7 other girls to swim with. Being a speed swimmer, you know, yes, you're on a team, but you just swim back and forth by yourself. And I just really found a love for artistic swimming. I'd always wanted to go to the Olympics, but when I was 10, my second year of doing artistic swimming, that's when I knew, yep, this is a sport that I want to go to the Olympics in. So it was incredible. My first solo was my second year of swimming, and it was to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which I didn't like. I much rather swim with a duet, trio, a team, more people. I wasn't always comfortable as a soloist, but turns out I had one almost every year, so I had to kind of get over it. I wanted to say one little fun fact that Christina Lum and I both started with the Santa Clara Aquamaids the same year, and we continued all the way through the Olympics in 2000. Swimming for the Santa Clara Aquamaids was incredible. I finally felt like I had a family, even good times, bad times, everything. We just did it together. I remember as a young girl, we had big and little sisters, and having the senior A team, senior B team be my big sister, I mean, they were my idols. Going to the pool to watch them, I mean, I was just in awe, and I looked up to them so much. And for them to come and, you know, come to my association meets as a 10 and under, 11, 12, and tell me I did a good job, I was just over the moon for. And I think having them as my idols, and we're talking Becky Dyron, Jill Suddeth, Heather Simmons Carrasco, Patty Lynn, you know, Susanna, they just were incredible athletes. And I think having them as idols were so inspirational to me that I saw them keep pushing. And so, you know, here's little me, 12-year-old, 9, 10, 11. And I wanted to be just like them. My very first water show with the Aquamaids was awesome. I mean, hard work, but it was awesome. It was like such a surreal moment. The morning of opening night, I happened to fall and break my arm. So I had to go to Chris Carver, and I was upset. I was, I believe, 10, maybe 11. And I had to tell her that I couldn't swim because I had this, you know, cast in a sling. And I remember her giving me a big hug and her telling me, it's okay, we still want you to be in it, so why don't you do your angel part? She knew that I was in this angel scene where all of us little kids were sitting on the side of the pool, and we had candles, and when it went dark, we lit the candles and we moved them side to side. So I just used my other hand to do that, and she just called me the angel with the broken wing. all through my artistic swimming career, I had amazing coaches, whether it was at the Santa Clara Aquamaid level or the national team level. I was made the junior national team 2 years in a row, and one of the years, Christina and I were selected as the junior world duet. That was such an honor. And Chris Carver actually coached us that year. And Jill Suddeth would help get in the water with us and choreograph. And that was just an amazing time for Christina and I. Again, we were 15 years old, 14, 15. And, you know, having this, you know, senior A team person and the head coach of that club dedicate time to coach you was awesome. It was definitely, again, very inspiring. But we went on to Leeds, England to represent the United States. And for the first time, I felt like a movie star. I mean, we had posters of us, we had cards, we had all this stuff, and it was such a big deal. And I was so honored to represent our country. I was so honored to have the duet with Christina. I was so honored to represent our club, and then also myself. It was probably such a surreal moment that I am looking back on it. I have so much more appreciation for it. So I was junior team for 2 years. And one more fun fact, Mrs. Lum was basically my second mom, and definitely when we were away at meets and my mom wasn't there. So she loved to do, you know, she would do hair and she would do headpieces, but Christina didn't care for her mom to do it, but I loved it. I wouldn't mind. I would just sit there and let her, you know, put up my hair and also put in my headpieces because it was kind of, I don't know, relaxing because I was so nervous. I was a very nervous athlete before going out to swim. So after the junior national team for 2 years, there was 1 year where I could make the senior national team too. And unfortunately, I did not. I would say that would be my first big hurdle, like my first big setback. I was one away. And I was just coming off of the junior national team, and I thought that was such a high, and that's what I wanted. I knew that my path was correct. So not making the senior national team too was devastating. After that, I did qualify, and I was part of the national team too, the senior national team too. And we went to Switzerland both years. And a vivid, amazing memory was in 1986. Obviously it was the Olympic Games, but I was on the senior team too. And we went to Switzerland, and then we were also able to pre-swim at the 96 Games. So I have obviously that goal in mind, and it was an amazing summer. Went to the Swiss Open, and for the first time I won in figures. Like, I won gold in figures out of the entire competition. And I was definitely a technical swimmer, probably more than an artistic for sure. And it was unbelievable because we had, you know, we'd won in team, and our club had gone to Germany when I was younger. So I definitely had the sense of international winning and what that felt like, but never as an individual. This was definitely my first time as an individual, and it was amazing. Our national team coaches were Nancy Hines and Sue Nesbitt at that meet, and they knew before the results had even come out, and I didn't even believe them when they first told me. It was awesome. It was incredible, and I knew, oh my gosh, my hard work had paid off, you know, and because those other countries are so good. They're so technically good. So I knew that my hard work had paid off. I think also in 96 being the pre-swimmer at the Olympic Games was absolutely a highlight. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of practicing a back entry into the pool the wrong way. So I suffered from a concussion and stitches in my head and my legs. So I was not able to compete, but I had amazing support from the team and the managers and Dr. Dawn Chu. And I just had an overwhelming support group. And also being able to watch the 96 team live win that perfect gold was, I mean, I can't even describe it in words, but being there live was the push that I needed. I will say that I had a major setback in 1997. It's actually really difficult for me to talk about. So even to this day, because I have a lot of regret, you know, and I try really hard to live without regret, but this is something that is very difficult for me. And, you know, I work through it every day, you know. But in 1997, I graduated high school in 94. So I was just training full-time. I was going to community college full-time. And, you know, in hindsight, I wish I would have not done school for sure and just taken that break for a little bit. But my goal in artistic swimming was to be the soloist and the duet for the World Championships in 97. I trained really hard. And I think the problem was I didn't believe in myself. I somehow lost my self-esteem and self-worth and ended up in my mind feeling like I had to be perfect. And when I wasn't perfect, I was basically a failure. And, you know, that was really tough. I know that my coaches, Chris Carver, Nancy Hines, Michelle Costanza, Jill Suddeth, Dr. Dawn, and all my team, they were so supportive of me. And, you know, we were all pushing for this goal. Unfortunately, I dropped into a place where I felt like I had no other choice. So 3 weeks before US Nationals, I walked out. I quit. That was not only a huge setback, but it was very pivotal and very, very important moment in my life and in my career. Never did I thought I would be the one to quit. Never did I think I would be the one to walk out or give up on something or not to finish something in entirety. So I really lost sight of why I was still doing artistic swimming. And in the end, I let everybody down. I let myself down. I let my teammates down. I let my coaches down. I let everybody down. And, you know, that's something that I live with and I regret. And I feel so bad that I left my team who I loved and adored. I mean, I did everything, you know, with them and they were my family. That I left them to struggle and scramble and I put a lot of unnecessary pressure on them. And, you know, I'm really sorry for that. I'm really sorry. And I wish I could go back and take it back, but I can't. So fast forward, 5.5 months later, I had, of course, stayed in contact with Chris, my coach. Her and I went to lunch every week or every other week. And she was really supportive, but I knew that I had hurt everybody on my team. And after about a five and a half month break, obviously I had worked on myself. I went and saw a professional to get some help and better understand and just, you know, be stronger. And as time went on, those 5 months, I realized that the fire and the flame of why I was doing what I was doing and who I was as an artistic swimmer was all back. I for sure knew I wanted to go to the Olympics, and nothing was going to stop me. And so 5.5 months later, I came back, and I know that that was a really hard decision for my team and my coaches to allow, because they were still hurt, and I get that. And just a few weeks after I decided to come back was World Trials, and I petitioned to be able to attend trials, and I was granted permission. And I was shocked, but I worked so hard, and just after a few weeks, I had made the Worlds team and competed in Perth, Australia in 1998, and it was awesome. It was incredible. I would say that pushed me over the edge to have me really realize that I'm in the right place, you know, that this is where I'm supposed to be. My team was awesome. And I remember, yes, our goal was always to medal, but more importantly, they had really cool hats, Australian hats, and we wanted a hat so bad. And we got it. We ended up in third. So we got a hat and a medal, and it was like, I don't know, you would have thought we won the lottery. We were so excited. I remember all of us jumping up and down, and our coaches being so proud of us. And, you know, we just worked hard, and nothing was going to stop us, like as a national team and as, I don't know, just a driving force. It was an incredible feeling for sure. And on a personal level, I was really proud that I could persevere. You know, I kept working on my mental health. And again, back then, we didn't talk a lot about that. And, but I did. I worked with a sports psychologist. I worked with my coach, Chris, and I, you know, I healed myself and was really proud of, you know, all that I accomplished by Worlds in Australia. Fast forward, 99, make the national team. And then we move on to Olympic trials. And Olympic trials was scary for sure, right? Because it's Olympic trials. But I was not feeling as confident, I remember, as I was hoping to. But back then I knew that if my goal was the Olympics, I had to put that aside and keep pushing through it. So that's what I did. I dug down and I did my very best, and I made it. I made the Olympic squad. I mean, I was elated. I couldn't even tell you, I don't even remember some of it, because I think I was just like, I don't even know. I was in like a fog. So, so we get there, and then we sit down, and there's a squad of 12 of us. And then we're told, oh, there's a 3-month evaluation, and your coaches will be evaluating you every day. And I want to say there was like, I don't know, 24 or 48 items that we were evaluated on a daily basis. That's what our coaches, they had to write down. And then every couple of weeks, we had a one-on-one meeting with our coaches. And here's probably my third setback, my big third feeling of, man, I failed. I kept getting told by my coaches, you're in the last quartile. And so we weren't allowed to know like our ranking. We were just like, was our quartile. So I was in the last quartile for at least half of those 3 months. And I would get frustrated. I'd push harder. I'd get frustrated. I'd push harder, right? But that was a big setback. I thought, man, I I've sacrificed, and I knew exactly what my goal was. And I was confident once I made that squad that I would stay to make that team. And every couple of weeks that confidence kind of decreased a little bit because I was in the last quartile. Well, the last quartile is not making the team. So, you know, I wouldn't give up. And I do remember Chris Carver. So it's Chris Carver and Gail Emery were our Olympic coaches. And Chris when the days that she saw that I was really frustrated or I looked maybe defeated or whatever, she would give me a call afterwards and say, you know, just positive reinforcement. You're doing a really good job. You know, maybe you focus on this and don't worry about this, or, you know, just different things. And I feel like between her and my team, I was able to just keep pushing, and I never, ever, ever gave up. And it paid off. I vividly remember we went in one at a time, and we had our two coaches. We had our national team director, Charlotte, and then we also had our sports psychologist in the room with us. And it was one at a time. And I remember my time frame was like towards the end. So people had already figured out, and I don't know, I was so nervous. And walking in there, I don't even know what the coaches said to me. They started saying something. And then I just remember looking up, and Chris is crying, and my sports psychologist is crying. And they said, you did it. You did it. You made the team. And that was awesome. And I was very proud and very happy that all my hard work had paid off and I hadn't given up. Unfortunately, we did not qualify for the Olympics through Pan Am's. I actually think that was the year they changed it, but my memory's not very good either. So we went to the pre-Olympics qualifiers, and we had two great performances, qualified for the Olympics. And after that, we got home, and there was a lot of discussion about we should change our tech team. So we did. We re-choreographed a brand new tech team and was still choreographing and finishing our new free team. So we had two brand new programs to debut in Australia. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, or what we did accomplish. I'm so proud of everybody that was involved, because that was another setback, kind of, where we thought we were going to be able to use our tech program, and then we were told, hey, you know what, you should probably get a new one. So we did, and it was hard, but we did it. And going out at the Olympics and performing both of those programs, it was amazing. And I'm so proud of our team. And the Olympic Games was everything and more. The opening ceremonies, walking into the tunnel with USA was so, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was just so awe-inspiring walking in the Olympic Village when you're literally all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my gosh, all of these people are Olympians. It was awesome. It was so inspiring, so inspiring. Our two performances, our tech and our free, were the best ever. We had almost flawless routines each time. And I know that, you know, Carrie spoke about her mistake and how that guilt and everything, but I'm so incredibly proud of not only her. I mean, she carried that burden, and she came to fight the next day, and our free program was incredible. And I'm so proud of all of us, and I'm proud that that we did what we set out to do. And our theme was always one gold heart. And I feel like, you know what, we had our one gold heart swims, and it didn't matter what place we got. So it was a dream of mine that came true. And I'm so honored. I'm so honored. After the Olympics, of course, I struggled a little bit with my identity. Who am I? Because all I was Kim Wurzel, the synchronized swimmer, artistic swimmer. So it was a little bit tough. But luckily I moved to San Antonio. Actually, before San Antonio, I was coaching for the Santa Clara Aquamaids, the junior program, with Jenny Haleski, and I learned so much as a coach. Transitioning to a coach, I was also going to school and working full time. So that was a good way to distract me from being lost and figuring out who I was. Right after, in 2001, after junior nationals, I coached there, and then I decided to move to San Antonio. And I was part of the SeaWorld show where synchronized swimmers were used for to swim with beluga whales and Pacific white-sided dolphins. It was awesome. And there I also started the collegiate program at the University of Incarnate Word. I was the founder and the head coach for 12 years. Following 2000, also when I moved out there, I came out of retirement for a year and swam with Lissa Wallace. At that time, she was 14 and I was 24. But she was an up and coming from the South, and she was so good. And so I thought, you know what, let's swim a duet. So we swam a duet in the 2002 US Nationals. And that was kind of her big debut. And she actually went on to attend UIW, made the national team, and she was amazing. So within my 12 years at UIW, I also was the head coach of the junior team for a couple of years. I was the head coach of the senior team, not the head coach, the assistant coach of the senior team too. And I loved it. I loved my identity as a coach. I love coaching. It's so awesome to give back to the sport that has given me so much. And I love it. About 8 years ago, I actually moved back to the Bay Area. I live in Danville, and I am married. I've been married for, gosh, almost 19 years. We have 3 kids. We have a daughter she just committed to Auburn University and in the fall, so that's going to be a little weird. But we have 3 kids, a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. I also I've been for 2 years now the assistant coach at Wheaton College in Massachusetts, and I do that remotely. I used to, pre-COVID, go out there once a month, but I love being back in the sport as a coach and choreographer. I just love it. I love giving back to the sport. I'm very, very grateful for all my experiences, even though I had some setbacks. I've had some regret, but in the end, I wouldn't, besides the leaving in 97, I wouldn't change any of it because it's made me who I am today. And I know that I'm stronger, and I take all of my experiences, good and bad, with me as a mom, as a coach, as just a human, as a friend. So I appreciate all of it, and I definitely am very thankful. But I'm also thankful for all of you who had stood by me besides my team. I mean, of course, my team, but my mom, my dad, just unconditional love for my parents, always, 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 no matter what my decision was. Chris Carver, Nancy Hines, Michelle Costanza, Dr. Dawn Chu, and, Betty Hazel was my age group coach for many, many, many years. She was incredible. And I mean, you still are, Betty. But I'm very thankful for all of the support. I'm so glad to share this opportunity and share my story. Thank you so much to all of you for listening. I hope I inspired you, or if you're feeling the same way, I hope that you understand that you're not alone and people are here for you. So please just feel free to reach out. And to the current Olympic team, you've had your share of setbacks. You are amazing. I have seen, you are absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of you. And you guys are fighters. So you will have your day. It will be whenever, but you will have your day, and you just keep doing what you're doing. Ladies, you are awesome. You really are. And I'm proud, and I'm supporting you, and I can't wait to see whenever you compete. I cannot wait to see how amazing you will be.